There must be some way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman, he drink my wine, plowman, dig my earth. None of them are on the line, nobody of it is worth. Hey, yeah. Wow. Anyway, so that's... why are we here? Check this out. Anyway, thank you for joining. Hello, I am General Lax Sivrak. Welcome to the mothership. I'm sitting in the corner of the room because that's what I fucking do sometimes, goddammit. And I have a cup of coffee, and I have my fucking Bowie knife, and I can see all points of entry and exit. So, whatever. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late. Hey, yeah. That's the Bob Dylan version, the original version. I'm sure everybody knows that's a Bob Dylan song, right? Most people just think it's a Jimi Hendrix song. It's not. That's a Bob Dylan song. So, that's cool. Yep, my kid painted that. Red, yellow, blue. Yep. I want to tell you a story. That's it. Story time. Story time with Lack. This is not the knife in this story. I am goddamn positive I own the knife still in my possession that's in this story. And I hope I do because my father gave it to me like 25 years ago for Christmas. Anyway, I'm thinking about something else, actually, is my problem. But dig this, I want to tell you all this story. So me and my brother Henry, this is Henry, not Puff. Puff is long since dead. And my brother Henry is, he was a jailbird, okay? And he spent a lot of time in prison. And so he lived with me because he wanted to learn the stuff he never learned. I got him a chainsaw one time because he said, I got to get some wood from my Uncle Paul. And, I was busy, so I gave him a chainsaw for, his birthday. And then I saw him again, and I was like, how come you ain't use that chainsaw? And he got real upset, and he had to tell me, I don't know how to use a chainsaw. I've been in prison my whole fucking life, you asshole. And I was like, no shit. Okay. So anyway, so then I was like, "Why you come live with me? We'll fucking, you know what I mean? I got you, brother." So I took Henry out in the wilderness for fucking a long time and fucking gave him a goddamn crash commando course and fucking shit he should know. Well, one of the things that we used to do, because we had a fucking badass boat, Express. Worst thing I ever did was sell it. I want another one so bad, but they're kind of spendy, and I'm not flush right now or whatever. But I want to take my son out on a boat in the river. And anyway, I'm going to get all emotional about my fucking kids here in a second. So let's continue with the story. Anyway, Henry's uncle, Tommy Albert, who's long been dead, he had a native allotment. And the native allotment is now an island. And it's not a very big island, but it's an island. And the main channel... It's an island next to another island, and the main channel basically splits 3 times. Now, our boat could go through all channels. The barge that has a 6-foot draft, it can only go through the one channel. But for us, there's still 3. But we would sit on the island, on the tip of it, and I had binoculars. And I had all the gear to do all this. And you would always do it after the water... right after the high water started to come down, because that's when trees start falling in the water. And instead of going around hunting, I'll teach y'all how to hunt for trees that's not on the river, but you got to pay attention. When the high water starts going down, you go pick your spot. And we had Henry's Island, and he would, it's my island. That was our joke from Braveheart, right? That Irish guy. Yeah, it's my island. it's mine. And so we fucking, anyway, so we would sit on the downstream tip of this island, and we could see all the channels, and we could see way up there. And so we'd be sitting there, and we could see trees coming, and I'd fucking hit them with binoculars, and you could tell easily from far away how much of the log can you see above the water. That will tell you if it's dry or not. Right? That'll tell you if it's dry. And then you can obviously judge how big it is and how long and shit, you know, and like if only a few times, like we never really were after green logs. We had green logs that we picked out and seasoned where we dropped them. But we were hunting firewood, and we needed a lot of firewood without doing we couldn't go hunting for shit all day. And firewood is starting to get scarce where I live, you know, like there's a lot of people cutting it, and like you got to go further and harder and work harder than other people. And that's why I always had fucking wood, and all my loved ones always had it, because I will always fucking go the extra bit. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks or fucking this motherfucker does not give up. But so you'd hit him with the binoculars, and you'd say, hey motherfucker, those are floating high, brother, we're gonna hit that one. So I would run the boat up, and like it's still high water, and it's just now coming down, because that's when the high water comes up and eats the little bit of dirt out that's left, and when it starts to fall, the trees fall. So the high water, it's still basically high water, it's just now starting to drop, so the current is fast. This is dangerous work. And I had a 16-foot boat, but it was all welded aluminum by the company Express, and it has like most people's boats, you notice the sides and the gunnel, they'll be kind of straight, perpendicular. A good fucking boat has big, long sides, and so a big fat motherfucker like me can stand on the gunnel of the boat, and it goes like this, but the water can't go up over the edge. If it's like this and you tip, like a canoe is short, so when you go to the edge, it goes boop, and the water comes over, but the side of your boat has a long thing, you can tip way over before the water dips in, right? I'm sure some of y'all understand what I'm saying, and I'm sure some of y'all did know that, and maybe some don't. I don't know. But I had the work boat, baby, and you drive it with a tiller handle. You don't want no steering wheel, and you don't want no hydraulics. You want that motherfucker kicker style with a fucking throttle on a free kick, because when you hit shit, that motherfucker needs to fucking bounce up and come back down. And you got to be a fucking man. If you got a fucking 60 horsepower motor on a fucking throttle and you're going wide open, and the prick hits a stump and comes up out of the ground and twists the boat and then comes back again, like you better know what the fuck you're doing, motherfuckers. And like ain't too many fucking boat captains better than me, I have to tell you. My father, who's alive, my father, Dave O'Brien, Uncle Paul Esau. Greatest fucking boat captains ever. Still alive. You know, my granddad was a fucking hell of a pilot. Puff, not Henry. My brother Puff and my brother Henry, their both names were Henry. They're both named Henry. Isn't that weird? Step brothers, so different, you know what I mean? Different people named them the same shit. Anyway, I'm not even to the cool part of this story. So I'm with my brother Henry, Jailbird. And we're fucking going after this log, and we have a system, and I've told him, I said, I'm going to pull you up, because I'm driving, he can't drive a boat. And I said, I'm going to pull you up to this log, and you take this rope, and I'm going to pull you up to a part of like a limb, a stump, something, I'm going to pull you up to it. And you put this rope on it, and you fucking hold it tight as you can, and hold it up against the boat. Just hold it. You know, I'm making it as easy. And so what I would do is I would run the boat up against the log, bump, and I would have him, and if he couldn't get a thing, I showed him, like, throw it over the end and just hold it, because all he had to do was bring the boat and the thing together. I'll do the rest. So we'd bump up to it, and then I would get sideways, and I had a rope and a cleat back here, and I would fucking goddamn either dally it off, or I would fucking drive a spike in it, because by this time we're fucking drifting downstream backwards with the log. Everything's fine. I'm not going to run up to it in the curve. I see everything that's going on. I have time. So we bump up into it, And I had fucking, like 9-inch nails, 9-inch spikes for fish wheels. And like you would drive like 4 big whacks and that fucker would be way deep in these dry logs. And you could just tie off to that and tie off to your cleat. Well, now you have your boat and the log are now together. Now you can just slowly, and we had a place downstream. I had actually 2 places downstream that I could pull my boat up to, tie the log off, and then I could drive there with my Suburban, which had a winch. And then we would just, right? So all day we would be gathering logs and taking them down to one, because sometimes you would have to go to the second spot because you'd miss you wouldn't have your shit together, and you'd be like, oh, we missed it. But you weren't going to turn loose the log, so you just drift down like another quarter mile, get to the bank, tie it off, go back to the island. So, man, me and Henry had fucking cords of wood, man, in like one day, and it was all tied up, rafted up in these 2 spots. And then we would go down there and get our fucking winch it up with my Suburban's worn winch and cut it up. So the main part of this story about the knife is, so one day we hook into this goddamn fucking log, and the current gets it. I fuck up somehow, and the log, we're splitting apart. Me and the boat, we're going in one channel, and this big giant log is caught, and it's going in the other channel, right? And I'm like, and so Henry, I realize this is happening, and I fucking just ditch my rope, and I'm yelling at Henry, drop the rope, drop the rope, drop the rope, and he's looking at me, and he's looking at the thing, and like he's frozen, he's scared, and I'm like, oh my, like this motherfucker cuts throats. I've seen this motherfucker do some shit, man, but he's never done this, I guess, and I'm saying, drop the rope, drop the rope, drop the rope. And the rope starts, and I'm driving, trying to fucking keep us off the rocks, and where the channel splits, there's a fucking log jam. And so I'm fucking trying to maneuver, but still I can't just whoom, because he's holding, and I'm like, drop the rope, drop the rope, drop the rope. Well, the rope gets tight, and he can't let go of the rope. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. And I'm driving, and the shit gets tight, and the log starts going down the side of the boat, and here comes Henry holding the rope like at a full run, and I'm watching him, and I'm saying, drop the rope, let go of the rope, and he can't. And I realize this motherfucker is going to tackle me, and fucking we're all gonna go out of the boat because he's frozen to the rope in fear. And so I fucking I don't kill it. I go into neutral, so there's no control. I pull my fucking knife out, and as he's coming at me, and the log is going side me, and the rope is basically about to clothesline me, and here he comes, and he's white as this door, and he's a full-blooded card-carrying native. I'm adopted. I have, you know what I mean? I'm adopted. But so he's white, and he's going, and he's just. And I pull my fucking knife out, and as the rope fucking gets there, I cut that motherfucker. I cut it, dude. And the fucking log goes by, and Henry, because he's like, when I cut the rope, he falls backwards, lands on his ass in the bottom of the boat, and his both hands are still out, and he's holding the rope. And he's just holding it, and he's frozen. And I fucking go back to the throttle, goose it, get out from the fucking, I hit some gravel, a little gravel bar, and I get back out, and I run to the closest bank, and I put it in the fucking bank, and I'm like, what the goddamn fuck was that, motherfucker? Jesus goddamn Christ, you almost got us all fucking killed. What the fuck? But anyway, so that was a woodcutting experience with my jailbird brother, Henry, who I love to death, motherfucker. I hope you're still alive. He called me, and it was an unknown number, and I didn't answer, and I called back, and they won't answer, and I don't know what's going on. Probably because my phone's from out of state or something. So the person whose phone he borrowed is like, who's that? I don't know that person. I'm not going to get some kind of charge. You know, I don't know. This has been story time with Lack. My video is still uploading. I have 7. You look for a video in. By the time this drops, maybe. I don't know. No, I can't do that. You'll know why I did this here in a little while. This looks good. Anyway, much love, much respect. Sorry that story took so long. The whole point of the story was me cutting the rope because I don't know. I don't know. I was mad at Henry and all this, and we had to hug, and I told him it's okay, I still love you, even though you fucking really fucked up there, you know. But at the end of the day, at the end of my life, I have to say I was pretty fucking proud of myself, man. It was fucking cool. It was cool. Boy, it made me feel cool, man. And it makes me feel cool right now saying it, even though maybe I'm not cool. I don't know. But that story makes me feel cool, and it's a fucking absolutely true story. And I have a lot more like that. Sorry there hasn't been more story times. Anyway, much respect to everybody.